It's an age-old debate how to discipline children, and there are a million different methods. Some take a soft, flexible approach, others a more hardline, no-nonsense style.
And there are benefits to both, or so we thought. But a new book has been ruffling feathers by ruling out many old-school techniques like yelling, sticker charts and timeouts, saying they don't work on today's generation of children. And the author of that book, The Good News About Bad Behaviour, joins us now from San Francisco. Katherine Lewis, good morning to you. So tell us, why do old-school methods like timeouts no longer work?
Well, the problem is that kids today really don't have the ability to control their behavior, emotions, and thoughts the way that kids could 20 or 30 years ago. It's not that they aren't motivated enough to want to behave, it's that they simply can't.
So why is that? Why the change in the children of today as opposed to 20 or 30 years ago?
Well, it's very hard to prove it. I spent 5 years researching across the country, talking to psychologists, teachers, educators, following families, and I came to the conclusion there's three big factors that have changed. Number one, the disappearance of childhood play. Number two, the growth of technology and media. And number three, children are really unemployed these days. They don't have a job in the household, putting food on the table or helping with chores, or a younger sibling. They often don't have after-school jobs, so they don't have that sense of developing capability.
OK, so the title of your book is The Good News About Bad Behaviour. So what is the good news about bad behaviour? Please, tell us.
Yeah, right,
please.
We need it. The good news is there are so many research-backed methods for winning your kids' cooperation and teaching them self-control, where you don't have to be the nag or the boss. You don't have to be negotiating with them. They'll just go along with the flow of the family's needs.
How?
And I wrote about 4 of these models in my book.
OK, so how? Give us some strategies.
So the 3 steps are, number one, connection, which happens first. And there's so many ways that adults connecting with kids will help them to be self-regulated and have self-control. Number 2 is communicating with kids about what's going on, what their perspective is, and what's needed in a situation. And number 3 is a focus on capability building. So you're always trying to grow your child's emotional and social skills and not focus so much on the moment, getting compliance in the moment, but really looking long term at, is this child getting better at controlling their impulses and managing their belongings or keeping their responsibilities?
Yeah, sure. You mentioned working, that kids don't have to work anymore. Technology, we know, is a huge issue. Childhood play, why is that so significant? Why is that so important?
Play is the work of childhood. It's how kids develop social cooperation, abstract thought, even the ability to control their impulses. So a simple game where, like Simon Says, do you have that in Australia?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I do.
Where, right, so you're trying to control your impulse to do what the person leading the Simon Says is saying. You have to listen to their words. That's a wonderful way to develop executive function. And we've eliminated so much free play, unstructured play from kids' lives. They really need it in doses that they're not getting these days.
OK, Katherine, give us an example. So one child hits their sibling, punches their sibling because they've done something that they didn't like. What do you do as a parent?
Right, as a parent, if you can stay out of it, that's the best solution, because the kids need to learn each other's limits. They need to learn how to get along. And when you get involved, you are a variable that is so compelling, they will just be pulling you in all the time as the judge. If instead, and this is assuming the kids are old enough that they're not going to hurt like a baby, then you talk to each of them separately about what's going on in that interaction, how do they want to have that relationship work out. But ultimately, put them in the same boat, and it's their job to figure out how to get along and not yours to negotiate it.
Katherine Lewis, great stuff, great chat. The book is called The Good News About Bad Behaviour, and it is available widely now. And I think there's every parent who at different times has thought, I wish I had that by my bed right now.
Yeah, or had that control to not say something after the punch and to, you know, to lead them to it. Yeah, really interesting. Food for thought. Thanks, Katherine.